Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another bit of Zerg expansion here for you. We're expanding our horizons with Zerg, except we're playing as Protoss. Why is it called Zerg expansion if we're playing as Protoss? I don't know. But we're looking at a micro mission, so I don't even have to prepare my editor in the background for an editor review. We're just going to get straight into it. Spoils of Incursion. What a disaster. Don't do it, man. Don't make micro maps. So boring. Can't do anything about it. Unless you do a lot of reverse engineering. Executor, you must hurry. We cannot hold off the Zerg for long. Locate and destroy all of the Terran developments. Okay. Locate Terran nuclear storage. Destroy Terran nuclear storage before the Zerg reach it. Mentor must survive. Wow, UED Commander, you really, Guess I should have proofread this, but then it would have spoiled me. Hi. Holy shit! They actually moved to attack me. Locate Terran nuclear storage. Destroy Terran nuclear storage. Wait, what was that last one? Oh, Zerg. Wait, why do I have to destroy it before the Zerg destroy it? I mean, reach it. Presumably, they're also going to destroy it? Question, Todd? Sector A door open. Mwah. So yeah, as you can see, I have shit campaign to the EXE preemptively. Oh, okay. So check that out. I'm gonna be using this not just because of the micro mission, but just in general. As you will. Hi. See ya. As you will. We finally lost a zealot. Oh, it's because they have both fucking busted stats for no reason. Oh, hi. Oh, I randomly got shared vision of the Hollow Brood by the grace of Allah. Hi. Alright, I guess we should just fuck off. Well, another day, another boring map to play. No, I don't have to play this daily, thankfully. Yeah, I don't know why our stats are so boosted. I assume these guys are going somewhere, maybe to reclaim some technology. Oh. They're just going to get help from Ahmed. See you, nerd. Dude, what the fuck? Whoa! See that slingshot? That was pretty epic. So it looks like there's some fighting happening over there, which is somewhat interesting. Why are we picking up C4? Why? Why do we need to plant C4? Also, I like how it was supposed to be several zealots. I guess because he didn't want to, Oh, okay. Reasonable. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you. Hi. Thanks. Hi. How are you? Good luck, I'm behind 7 proxies. Oh, oh, oh. There we go. Now we're in business. See you, nerds. It's completely inconsistent when you should be prioritizing killing those guys. Like, the vultures could have actually done damage to us if they didn't get aggroed by the Zerg here. So, I thought maybe he was, like, slowly coaching us that those would actually be resulting in some threats in the future. But, no. Oh, okay. What have I been reduced to? Well, does that mean I have to backtrack to get more C4? Because that's shit. If so. Oh well. At least these don't appear to be spawning additional Zerg here. Well, time to zealot my way to victory. Hey, I wonder if he checks if it's the same zealot. I mean, I don't even think he can, so... Oh, maybe I had to go over here, though. Alright, so this is actually reminding me of an Armies of Exego mission, which is pretty embarrassing. Alright, so even though I could, in theory, get more C4, I can't, because he has to have 3 left, because 3, and for no other reason, pretty much. Oh, they just unjammed the door for me in a cutscene. Classic move. Oh, goodbye. Suppose I could, in theory, save, but this is just dumb, so... Hi. Oh, yeah, now suddenly we have got to stop them. Because, you know... Consistency. Very dumb. Well, I assume I have to go and exhaust every single area, yeah. Who would have guessed? Sector XD door. Really? Get up the ramp, please? Question mark. Why? Why was that so difficult? Why would you make a game, make a map in your project using the worst fucking tileset in the entire game for functionality? Oh, okay. See ya. Oh yeah, now they're active. It's okay, they were walking past us anyway, we could have just walked past. It's too bad they're not upgrading. Gotta match the Zerg, man. Mine some minerals, maybe? Build some more units, build some more production structures, expand, use some spells that you research. Maybe do anything. What's psychosis? Oh, okay. No network access available, by the way. So now I have to walk back over here? What the fuck? Goodbye. For some reason, the cloaked ghosts earlier, I think they had like reduced health or something. It was really weird. Just needed some safety here. Just go ahead and get some more safety. There might be like something that automatically detonates them up here or something. I guess not. It's just some more men. Alright, well. The problem with the installation tile set too is that it's not like the traps came equipped with something else, you know? Oh, I guess I'll save. No, okay, that is actually what we're supposed to do. Oh, fuck. Well, how embarrassing. So, what exactly am I supposed to do then? Oh, you know what? There we go. Sorry, guys. I seem to have misplaced my zealots, but it's okay. I found them just now. See you, nerd.
As you will, immediately.
Stupid. Well, now that that time waster is out of the way, on to the next time waster. Isn't there some sort of mission briefing or something? Oh, maybe not. Yeah, it's not. Well, whatever. We're going into the 4th mission now. New technologies. I'm going to try to, remember the fact that new technologies exist and it's possible to make better content than what I just played. So we're going to get right into that by hopefully experiencing some of that right now. I bear grave news, Earthborn. The Zerg assault was relentless. We could not resist it. The new swarm has overrun both our fortifications and your base. In addition, we have detected the Zerg incursion into your underground facilities. It is unlikely there have been any survivors. Go on. This is just damn great. I should have stayed there. It's my fault leaving you with green rookies. Green eggs and ham? Do not blame yourself, human. With such sheer numbers of Zerg, not even the most experienced warriors and leaders would be capable of stopping them. Certainly not in our poor condition. This is a very weird, long tangent of, like, gameplay where we're fighting Terrans for no reason. I have never seen such a concentration of Zerg forces upon the world of Astragoras. It is quite concerning. I have an explanation for that. We've discovered that there's at least one of their commanders, a Cerebrit, located nearby. His presence is also confirmed by the fact that all the Zerg colonies in X-Radion quadrant are highly resistant to our weapons fire. That has to be why the Zerg are so fierce in their attempts to push us back. What? The Zerg being... the sunken colonies being invincible because of a gimmick mission that Blizzard made is the explanation for that? Our military was not quite effective in fighting these Cerebrits so far, since those bastards can actually raise from the dead, making any attacks against them pointless. Only you were able to deal with them, or so I've heard. Shut up, Achman. The research we've been conducting in X-Radion should help us to solve this problem. A high enough concentration of ions is capable of disintegrating any organic molecules, quite literally nullifying them. If you help us to secure the ion diffuser, we'll gladly demonstrate what that sucker can do. You can rely on our assistance. We are ready for battle. Yeah, I guess. Destroy the brood around the ion diffuser. Protect the X-Labs. Eliminate the hollow brood. Ion diffuser must not be destroyed. Okay. Oh, hey, we have an AI ally, I think. I hope. What the fuck? Hello? Am I supposed to rescue you guys? Why don't I have sheer vision? Classic.
I long for combat. Thus I serve. Honor guide me.
Nice UI. Sorry, fix that. Okay. Occasionally you get that when you speed up too much. All right, so. I'm looking for an expansion. Wondering why these units are sitting here. Oh, they are training units. Okay. Oh, I found money. I start out with 300 gas. It's not really that much money, but I'll take it anyway. Alright. Looks like it's a relatively defensible position as well. I will now scout south of me, because why not? Any inaccessible mineral fields I can yell at this guy about? I think this one is. Don't think you can squeeze a probe through there. Well, that means that I'm going to be cutting probes quite heavily in this particular build. No need to build additional probes when they don't actually do anything for you. So we'll just sit here and... yeah, it's probably going to be right here. Well, let's see what happens. Ah, classic move. I don't suppose my AI ally knows how to defend me. Oh, okay, see ya. So not only do I not get shared vision from them, but I also don't really get any benefit from them existing at all, it seems.
I long for combat. Honor guide me. Thus I serve.
Okay. So that appears to be the some of the custom shit. Suck my dick. Why would you make them invincible? I can't do anything. I literally can do nothing. Dude, why? Seriously. Oh, is this almost done? Yeah. Okay. What the fuck? It's probably over transfer, actually. It's not really possible for me to over transfer this base, though. There's literally nothing I can do in half the cases.
You have not enough minerals.
Okay. I think I'm done trying to split my workers. You may notice some improvements in my play, generally speaking. It's not from playing this, it's from playing Hydra Melee. Just wanted to just assuage any doubts. I haven't really been able to play the game of Brood War, as you saw in the previous 2 maps that we played for Protoss. So, yeah. That being said, there was some talk of an update coming for this campaign. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot I'm not allowed to actually play the game. How am I supposed to get to them if I can't? Am I supposed to just speed zealot my way to victory? Hi. I can't really, like, shuttle my way there either, it doesn't look like. Like, maybe if I was controlling some Terran stuff, there'd be something there. But anyway, like I said, there's talk of updating the campaign. I don't know if that's really happening or not. I would find it highly unlikely, but Zeus did tell UAD Commander that, so I'm hearing it secondhand, but still. From the horse's mouth themselves. Hey, look, another inaccessible mineral field. Hey, look, another inaccessible mineral field. Hey, look, another inaccessible mineral field. There's 4 of them in that one base. That puts the mining efficiency not that far away from this base that we see here. Speaking of this base, I should probably build a pylon over there. Oh, I just did that, asshole, so... Why is it Aldaris, voice, Artanis, head? Anybody want to explain that one to me? We definitely need leg enhancements, but we also need a photon cannon over here, and I think that might be more important, generally speaking. Trying to cordon off my workers from moving in a stupid manner, but obviously that's a little difficult. I'll grab another pylon anyway, and I'll grab leg enhancements. So it looks like maybe I can follow my allies here, but also I lost my units because I walked them into death. Batman Cause, yeah, we all know. It's that fraud Crowman. And we'll get like 2 more probes over there, and that'll be enough, I think. Maybe 1 more over here. We do have goon range now. I guess I'll scout to the south with that guy. I'm really looking for another base. That's what I want. I'll scout over here with that probe and order up another one. And I'll actually start rallying a couple of probes over there for gas, because I forgot about gas. We do have Dark Templar, so that's good. Maybe we can pick off the Cerebrit with Dark Templar, since... What even with the whole point of like, oh yeah, let's get the Psi Nullifier down. And it's like... Why? Like, seriously, why? Okay. There's another probe coming on the way. Go ahead and drop a pylon over there. Oh, okay, so there was nothing over here, it looks like. And this guy decided to take the most asinine path around. Good job. Then grab robotics facility so I can get a shuttle and some observers. We need to do some recon here. Okay. Yeah, that should work out fine. It's so weird not constantly producing probes in the early game. Like, I don't get it. I also don't get why this guy won't go up here. Seems very nice rock. Nice attention to detail there is what we call that in the biz. Oh, there's really nothing. But yeah, it's so weird to just cut probes so early. It's like already I have a lot of probes here actually, and there's no way for them to be efficient because of the issues with the various mineral fields that are stuck. Grab another forge. Start my shuttle. Fuck you. Might as well grab my observatory over there. I still can't believe there's only... Oh, there's another base over here. We'll grab that, because we're going to need to throw a lot of units away, it looks like. I don't really care about gas efficiency that much. Of course, I have no way of knowing that my ally's under attack since he has no fucking shared vision, so... Move to the bottom. So there might be something I can pick up there. I'm gonna put another pylon up here. I'm really gonna hope to cordon off the gas pathing there.
One man calls. My life for Isles.
Cover my rear. Okay, there's nothing up here either. Inaccessible stuff. I thought maybe there would be an island expansion. I thought fucking wrong. Grab some observers. Still no reason to build more of that. I'll get another pylon. I don't really have much of a reason to build more of that either. The cannon's further up, I suppose. But yeah, there's not much to say so far. Pretty offensive that we have no way of getting what we would need, and pretty offensive that we have no way of building additional probes and having it mean anything. So, yeah, that's my thought so far. Have another observer. Oh yeah, it's O, because I have to stretch all the way across my fucking keyboard for no reason. For O reason, actually. Alright, we got some stuff. I don't think that they will be defending these photon cannons, but you never know. I'm just gonna stick an observer over here. And grab another one. More probes. Order some from over here as well, might as well.
Upgrade complete.
Alright, what upgrade was that? Okay. I'm actually one who's a man who's very fond of... hi? I'm a man who's quite fond of his observer upgrades. I don't know why they're so niche to most other people. Oh, hi. Alright, well, that was 3 queens for nothing. Love it. Yeah, I really have no idea what I'm meant to be grabbing here, unfortunately. Besides some hips. How rude. Oh, there's another Ultralisk coming around from the other end. If you know what I mean. Hey, that's rude. I might need that in the future. This is a game of cat and mouse. You remember that map from Battle.net? The memories. Oh shit. Hi. Hi. Oh, he'll continue spinning for a while. Alright. I just don't want to have to bother rotating back to bases, and AI attacks seem pretty flimsy right now, so... Hey. Alright, well, we'll just go A-move all of our men for now. Nothing else we can do, I don't think, besides building some more gateways to spend more of our money. I actually meant to move over here, but, you know. Trying to get a read on their upgrades. Oh, okay. So these guys are fine to attack. I haven't even seen... I think maybe I did see one orange unit at some point. Oh, hi. Oh, thanks. Very useful, Ahmed. Man, I forgot ally save splash damage was not a thing. Or, yeah, just it was not a thing for a long time. Just another great service that Farty gave us. So yeah, this looks like Speed Zealot is the strat. Just bypass their shit entirely. See a nerd. I'm going to go ahead and build another cannon over here. Right now I'm just trying to pick off all of these cannons, or these spore colonies rather. I assume after we do this we're going to need to defend it, but I don't actually know how that intends to be done because, you know, well, that little bit of information was not, I was not privy to, you see. I don't suppose they have an SCV anywhere that they would like to repair this shit with. Gotta micromanage my units away from my ally. Alright, another round of battle-scarred zealots coming through. Just building some DTs for the sake of it. I might need them later if their device mysteriously stops working or whatever. Now, if that happens, I'm going to look like a fucking prediction god, but it's really just the generic thing that you might see. Yeah, there's so many ways that you could have done this in a different way that would have facilitated actual gameplay. Like, instead of having a pre-placed phalanx, you could have had it so that the Hala Brood AI actually tried to set up a phalanx, and that the Orange Brood tried to attack specifically the Ion Diffuser. Like, that was their goal or whatever, that was what they wanted to get. And, like, they were going to go take it, and you know, the Terran player that was defending it was tasked with defending it, and then there was a Terran player around us, or like near us, that was like our ally, that was going to try to help us get to that point. I don't even know what X-Labs are. Like, is that another structure? Oh yeah, it's over here. But I don't even have shared vision of this guy. Like, you didn't even tell him to share vision me with triggers or anything, so I can do pretty much nothing. So this is... Oh, thanks. Okay, well, they're still impossible to actually attack. So I don't really know what the goal would be here. I guess I could fly through on the hugging the right side, and then I would only get hit with one spore colony, and I could start building a forward base there, and then all of these units could just be sitting here for defense. And I'll set up a base over here, take that base that that guy had. I can't spend any of my money, really, because when you consider, like, what I'm actually able to spend it on, it's nothing worthwhile. So, I mean, I guess I suppose one of the things that I could do is... oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Kill this one. Because we can still fit another one down here, I'm pretty sure. We'll find out. I'm pretty sure that the probes can still make it through. Oh. Really? They can't? Okay, well, that's fine. We'll just put that one there, and we'll just have one cannon over there. Anyway, I forget what I was about to say. So basically, I can't really spend the my money on anything. Oh, there is another one over there. We might have to hallucinate or something. That's right. Pronago researched hallucination in a campaign mission. You're not hallucinating, but I wish I was. One of the other things I was going to say was Ions Field. Oh, okay. All right, well. Oh, so this is for the clown emoji, the stupid structures. That's what that's for. I thought it was for something else. I thought it was like, oh yeah, this is going to destroy the Cerebret. But we have Dark Templar, so why would we need that? Nice fucking layout. What warrior engaged? Oh, there's an observer that got kissed by Mongols. I guess I'll build some more Dragoons. I have no anti-air. Man, I really should not have researched hallucination. I should have gotten Psystorm. Maybe some anti-air. It's okay. The cannons should be okay. They're repelling a lot of that stuff for now. Fortunately, my AI ally is entirely useless. All right, bye. So I am getting Defilered all to hell. I guess I'll need some more observers, or I'll move some of the ones I already have somewhere. Figure out where those Defilers are. Oh, there is one right here. I don't suppose I give shared vision to these guys. So it's just a timed event. Oh, they dropped that one there. That's pretty silly of them. What is even the risk here exactly? He went through such painstaking effort to such painstaking effort to move his, like, reveal every single structure in the Fog of War layer for no reason. Like, I really don't know what the reason would be at this point. Let me just confirm that these are the X labs. I'll put some cannons over there or something. There's probably a billion fucking pre-placed defenders over there, so I don't really know why I would need to. At this point, it seems like it's just a waiting game, but why? XD lab. Sex lab. We'll go ahead and leave a Zealot over there for the Dark Swarm location. Yeah, so I guess at some point I'll be able to A-move my army through. In the meantime, I'll just keep making units. He's making a lot of units. Oh, a lot. 4 tanks is a lot for AI, okay? You gotta grade on a curve with stuff like this. Epic.
Upgrade complete.
I don't know why he started on the right either, though. It was so much more sensible to, like, start in the middle to punch a hole through so that I could get to his base. I wonder if am I even going to need to do that? Is the base just going to blow up on its own? You know what I mean? I think am I still limited to, oh no, I can actually get tier 3 upgrades now, guys. That's pretty cool. I have 8 gates, and still have a lot of fucking money. Well, I guess I can safely move these guys over. That's one of the reasons why I didn't bother saturating that base fully. Other reason being I'm bad. Meanwhile, it's very telling. We're still not even at the point where we can harvest over here. I mean, part of it is because I didn't bother leaving any workers there, but I'll drop 3 off over here. Hey, that's rude. What do you want, the workers to revolt? Sacrifice for your fellow man, your fellow comrade. Ahmed in a tank. An unupgraded tank, unupgraded Ahmed. Fuck you! Just kidding. See you, nerd.
My life for ire. For vengeance.
Hi. How are you?
The warriors have engaged the enemy.
Yeah, they're keeping up in upgrades, actually. Somewhat impressive. Oh. I think I have another observer lying around somewhere. Move my massive blob of units over there. Ay. Oh yeah, that's a nice hitbox on that, by the way. Definitely doesn't need to be that wide. I don't know why it is.
Instructions. Upgrade complete.
All right.
Make use of me for vengeance.
Wow. I don't know how I picked the only two gateways that I actually. That I had actually used out of the 8. What are the odds? Ooh, Math Whiz brought to you by Pernigo. The odds of that are 2 out of 8. It's actually like 2 out of 16 or whatever, but whatever. Wait, what? Oh yeah, sorry, you gotta blow that one up too. Psychosis. We still have to wait for it to kill his main. It's not even an active player on the map either. And obviously this is because I don't have the right mod. You know, I didn't do my own due diligence as somebody who's got a history of doing their due diligence. And you know what I did was I just decided not to play with the mod, even though I am playing with the mod. So it's just what happens sometimes, guys. Can't win them all. Can't believe he puts critters in a map where the color of the enemy is the same color as the fucking critters. Hi. See ya. Oh, pre-placed lurkers on an ideal landing spot, by the way. Well, I can't siege mode them from this area, but I certainly can Psystorm them if they ever give me an opportunity. Can I even get arbiters? I really should have been exploring that, but it doesn't look like I can anyway, so fucking pointless. So now I just have to slam out a dookie. Alright, well, you guys are gonna... There's not even anything... I can't even really sacrifice these guys because there's nothing to throw A-move them into anymore that's on the same realm. So I just have to collect my other shuttle from over here. Shuttle speed, which is long overdue. And yeah, get these units down here. Get their shuttle over here. Well, it is clearing a path for me, and I guess it is only spore colonies over here, which is very embarrassing. Where are my other observers? Do I have some? I have this one who's spinning. Bring him over here. How embarrassing. Now, they are 3-3 now, so this may hurt. Rude.
What battle calls? Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Hi. How are you? How embarrassing. No!
Upgrade complete. Your warriors have engaged the enemy. I long for combat. Saw two. Your thoughts. My hands. My hands.
How embarrassing. Alright, let's hit him. Let's hit it, Johnny. Where the fuck's my observer? Did it die? Oh, it's over here. How do you guys feel about me sending a 200 supply army over here? Side storming across a bridge. Using one shuttle to do it. Oops. How do you feel about me side storming my own man? Well, he really made sure to make this as annoying as possible. Where the fuck even is the Cerebrid at this point? Start executing his units wholesale. You got a nice meme arrow. Or like a fish's mouth or something? An arrowhead, perhaps?
My path is set. Your thoughts.
Hi. Oh, I forgot Templar actually do damage.
Steed thy bidding. It shall be done. You think as I do. Steed thy bidding energy.
Oh yeah?
You think as I do.
I love that he stuck around for it. What a nice boy.
It shall be done.
He waited his turn. He was very patient.
As I do. It shall be done.
Oh no. It's all the only entertainment I can get out of this shit, so enjoy it while it lasts. Dude, just look at this. Look at all the pre-placed shit I have to deal with. And in a game that's already annoying to island hop versus AI in. Alright. We made it epic, guys. We did it. Man, this map really breaks a lot of the rules of map making. Where it just... Oh yeah, here's your enemy. It's got a bunch of pre-placed shit for no reason. Enjoy.
the enemies.
We actually did it. We got our whole entire army over here, albeit with more than one shuttle. And at what cost, you may be wondering? Well, I'm here to say, firsthand, at great cost. At great cock. Oh shit! Oh. Wait for it. Oh. Fuck. Couldn't quite destroy them all. Sorry, guys. Well, Alpha Core. More like Alpha Corpse. Well, you know what that means. Oh, I alt-tabbed and it crashed the program. That's pretty interesting. That's okay. We don't need to worry about that. So that was PO4. So we're going to pop into the editor review. Oh, that is the wrong personality because I just saw a bunch of med bays and a nighttime tile set, so we know that's not right. Wrong personality, wrong profile. All right, here we go. So this is the map. And this is the giant starting force for the Allied AI. Now, why the Allied AI needs a giant starting force is beyond me. Now, while I was in the middle of playing, I did propose a potential alternative, which is something that I thought up right off the bat with no prior knowledge of this scenario, just walking around and being dissatisfied with the shit I was handed. And that was that instead of the Zerg just being surrounding the... by the way, I don't have the MPQ loaded into the editor for obvious reasons, so you're not going to see the custom graphics. But anyway... this super weapon that the Terrans have developed specifically to nullify a stupid gimmick aspect of the Zerg's phalanx here, their defensive colony pre-placed line bullshit, which is pretty ineffective actually, considering you just walk right through it. So it's not even like it works really. It's just a chore that the player has to go around. But anyway, I digress. So the Zerg are surrounding this thing and they don't destroy it, yet our objective is to protect it, which leads you to believe that maybe the Zerg should have destroyed it if their intention is to stop us from succeeding in our objectives and they know that we're going to try to use it, which we can infer based on the fact that the Cerebrits are supposed to be intelligent, the Zerg are supposed to be led by Cerebrits, therefore the Zerg should act with some degree of intelligence, but they don't. So they just surround the base, which makes no fucking sense. Instead, what could happen is you could have a natural and build and destroy oriented aspect to this game that's this map that's very different from some of the other maps, what many would call a gimmick, and I would agree that it is kind of a gimmick, but the idea that you have a defensive oriented player that's protecting this super weapon that's important for the plot, and then maybe you deliver on that a little bit better, like you make it a structure with a weapon and you make it attack targets that have certain flags set to them or something. Like, I guess I don't know exactly how you would do it, but basically I would change a lot about this mission, and to the point where it would be unrecognizable if it were my mission. But if you really are hell bent on having this random super weapon that just comes out of fucking nowhere and there was no talk of before, then I guess whatever, have it, but have a player that's actually actively trying to defend it, and have that be this player perhaps, so that instead of this player having a massive base, they have a small base, and the Zerg could be over here, the orange Zerg, and you could choose to either attack the Zerg or try to reinforce the position that the Zerg are attacking, and either way is a good idea because it will allow you to keep the super weapon alive long enough. Then the X labs are just thrown in there without any understanding. I guess it's supposed to be their research labs, but I don't know why that would be important to the story. Like, they don't manifest in a way that's useful. Even though the super weapon is stupid and is implemented through gameplay to nullify a stupid gameplay aspect that should never be in an RTS. And even though it's done so in a really dumb way where it does it through triggers instead of an actual behavior or an attack or anything organic, it still actually impacts gameplay, and therefore it kind of, in a loose sense, in a very bare bones sense, justifies the effort that you go through in order to reclaim it. Now, that being said, we then go into a behavior where we're just not feeling it whatsoever, man. We're now suffering. We are now suffering because we've taken it, but then we still have to wait and sit here and do nothing. And the X Labs, like, they don't actually benefit us at all, so there's not really any reason to have them, because if it doesn't work for the gameplay, if it doesn't serve the gameplay, it shouldn't be in the project. So since we're after a gameplay-oriented experience, what we would be after with this particular case is we would say, all right, no X Labs, no pre-established Terran presence over here. Instead, have them over here, defend them. They're trying to defend it, right? They're trying to defend it, and then maybe a slightly, well, instead of just some factories, it should be an actual base mining and stuff. The map should be bigger to facilitate this number of players, and so you should be like maybe the Ahmed guy is leading the charge alongside you, and he's coming back and returning with a squad from his own mission that he was alluded to, like at the first mission or something, I think, or it was the second mission, I think, the briefing of the second mission back in the previous video. So he could be coming back from his mission and be like, oh shit, shit's about to go south with my boys. The super weapon's under attack. We got to go help them out. Maybe you could even throw in the X Labs line, but maybe they were destroyed, or maybe they lifted off to evacuate, similar to like science facilities or something. And maybe you could even move the X Labs to be surrounding the psi inhibitor or whatever the fuck that's called. So the ion diffuser or whatever. So you could do that. That's fine. I don't take any umbrage with that idea, I guess. Like, it's fine. It's not really that big of a deal, but it doesn't serve gameplay in its current state, so the X Labs shouldn't need to be there. It's not like they train elite units or research some special tech, and that wouldn't even really be satisfying anyway, because it's not like the Protoss could benefit from that directly. It's not like the player could really understand what the hell the gameplay, evidence of that is related to. So I don't really know why. Like, maybe the X Labs could be like, if they're in the Terran campaign and they're actually useful for gameplay, like they're a production structure or something that was modded in, I could see a reason to include them here, but actually give them to an AI that will use whatever is proposed, like whatever is produced by them, and then have them mention it. Maybe you don't even necessarily have to mention it. It can be done through gameplay, the storytelling that is. It can be done through gameplay there, where you just see them producing high-level units out of there. But you could also say, we should definitely protect those X Labs. They've got some pretty vital infrastructure that allows us to produce X, Y, Z. Or you could just say, we should protect those X Labs. They're going to be really important in this battle, and leave it at that. And then it's like very minimalistic in terms of the impact that the dialogue has on the battle, on the overall mission. And then they're not a main objective where you lose if one of them dies or whatever. I didn't actually see. Obviously, I didn't test to see if that actually did defeat you, but when you have this situation here, like, this just throws the whole map out, and obviously this also does. So the other thing that you could make happen that would actually allow us to respect the Holobrood and respect the Cerebrate leading them is you could make it so that they're actually deploying hatcheries and nidus canals, and they have some sort of presence that they're trying to deploy. Like, if you look at this situation, unless they drop with overlords or whatever, they should never be allowed to get over here based on the pre-established presence of the Terrans. So that's another thing that you don't have to worry about when you remove the pre-placed shit, is that it doesn't beg belief why the Zerg were even allowed to position themselves here. And you can't just say, oh, it's because the sunken colonies are invincible. Well, the fucking drones aren't, so why the hell were the drones able to get to the point where they could build the sunken colonies that then became invincible? So I really don't think that you should have invincible defenses. It's really, really annoying to deal with. It's just a chore, like I said. It doesn't even actually stop you from progressing. But one thing that you could do instead of having that is maybe you could just have this AI has a penchant for actually building a lot of sunken colonies and trying to wall you in. And so while the orange AI is tasked with defeating you by killing the super weapon, that maybe you have that actually target the Cerebrate or something instead of targeting fucking static defense. Or maybe you make it the X Labs as the objective, and then it's like one X Lab or something is left, and that's the last one we have, and we really need to save this, and it's important to the story, and you omit the super weapon altogether because with the defenses not being invincible, there's no reason to have it. Then you can instead have it be like, all right, well, this X Lab will be useful for the gameplay because the Terrans will be able to train elite units out of it, and it's now a mission objective. I'm not crazy about it being a defeat condition, but at least you have like a Terran AI defending, a Zerg AI attacking, and then this Zerg AI, the Holobrood, actually deploying a bunch of structures in this phalanx over here, trying to stop you from engaging the orange Zerg. And so then it's like, oh, there's emergent gameplay. There's a much more reasonable starting position. There's a lot that you could do just with that idea that I had in like 5 seconds when I was walking around the map, running through static defense. Like, maybe the static defense shouldn't be pre-placed. It's like when you start with that position, it becomes a lot easier to make something that is much more reasonable. Otherwise, I would say map spacing is still a pretty big issue in these campaigns, in these maps of this campaign. Like, really not a whole lot of space for me to build my infrastructure. I guess I could have done so down here, but I didn't know if I was going to need to navigate down here. And the fact that I don't really need to move down this path to reinforce, and the fact that I don't even really have any opportunity to do so outside of going in a specific fashion, meant that I wasn't even punished for bad base layout. It really, at no point did I really get punished for it besides having to rebuild a cannon because a Dark Templar got stuck behind one. So it wasn't really that important for me to lay out my base intelligently. So if that's what you were trying to do when you made your small scale map where there wasn't that much in the way of build space, you swung and missed on that one, because it didn't really work out, right? Because it's not like I really needed to lay my base out in a very intelligent fashion. So it didn't really help with that. I think you could have done something really interesting with this mission, with the whole like Zerg trying to choke you off with a bunch of static defense and just buy time. It's still a weird gimmick that you would fail the mission because your ally died or something, or your ally lost a structure. But if you were going to go with that, that would be a much more satisfying way to work with that. Even though it's not them defeating me directly and they're defeating me indirectly, so it's always going to feel shitty, it would feel way better than this, where the AI didn't feel like they were trying to do anything whatsoever. They were just spinning. I didn't even know what Orange was doing. I don't think I ever saw him attack. Maybe he was unallied to this Zerg player. That might be why I never saw him, because he might have gotten his units stuck in the fucking crossfire over here. If that's the case, then why the fuck are they, like, why? Just make them a team or something so it's like a 2v2 with, or I guess it would be a 2v3 in that sense, where the Zerg are trying to choke off these guys. The Phalanx, Halabrood, are over here trying to, cordon you guys off, and maybe that can be an explanation for why they choose to build a bunch of sunken colonies and stuff, because they don't think that they can take you head on, because there's two players down there. There's Protoss and Terran. So what they want to do is try to focus on, slapping down some defenses and try to buy as much time for the Orange Brood as possible, so that after the Orange Brood kills this player, they can, descend upon the other, these two guys, and pick them apart together or something. Then there could be like some aspect of teamwork. There was no aspect of teamwork for me and my AI ally. He basically did fucking nothing the entire game besides suicide a bunch of tanks. He sort of absorbed some pressure in the larger attacks that happened later on in this map, but because I was positioned directly across from the island base of the main Zerg player, I didn't feel like he contributed that much. It was mostly that he just had some Goliaths or tanks in certain positions and killed some units, which admittedly is useful, but it's not the level of impact you want from an actual AI player. Least of all, a player that is got all this pre-play shit. He basically did nothing. He should have been able to wipe out Orange by himself. And so that is my editor review of whatever this map was called. I don't remember already. So yeah, bye. All right, so we are going back to the mission selection screen after our crash. I might take a look at that crash actually later on. It's not really that important right now, but shit, wrong fucking folder, dude. I don't ever want to look at that. All right, so where are we here? We just did 4. Yeah, it was new technologies. All right, we're going to play the last Protoss mission now and hopefully end this suffering here, and we'll go into Terran. One thing I should mention, and I forgot to mention at the beginning of the Protoss stuff, is one of the things that you'll end up seeing is a lot of people will basically be trying to design missions that gimmick the base game, right? They actually obfuscate the base gameplay of StarCraft. And I don't know if that's just because they don't understand the base gameplay of StarCraft, or because they're bad at the base gameplay of StarCraft, or because they actually genuinely believe that whatever they design will be more fun than the base gameplay of StarCraft. I don't think the latter is really true, because if they maybe they do believe that, but I think it would be fallacious considering the fact that most of them probably don't understand it. Maybe it's a combination of all three. I would say it falls more in the category of the first two, though, generally speaking. It's like they're bad at it and they don't understand it. And it's pretty linked in that sense. You don't understand it because you're bad at it, and you're bad at it because you don't understand it. These two things are only really true. Like if you're good at it, you probably understand it, and vice versa. If you understand it, at the very least, you would know how to become good, even if you weren't yourself good because you didn't put in the hours or something. So there's some linkage there. There's some connection between those two concepts. Now we get to the point where we're dealing with fucking all of these maps that were like the map design did not benefit Zerg whatsoever in the first opening missions of this campaign. That made it really annoying because I had to macro and I had to build macro hatches in theory, but I didn't have access to minerals or functioning bases where all my drones wouldn't just suicide into a single mineral field and do nothing. And then you had like Protoss with +1 weapons in that last map. That was really annoying, and hopefully we don't see a repeat of that here. But generally speaking, the reason why it's so much easier for me to do stuff in Protoss and Terran campaigns, even if the same flaws are being made, is because they disproportionately affect Zerg in a negative way. Because Zerg is a harder race to understand what to do, and I am bad at Zerg, but I also recognize that my options are much more limited as Zerg when my enemy has a pre-established presence, because my units do not survive as long, or they're not as versatile as Protoss and Terran. My units are meant to be used in conjunction with other units, and if I don't have access to Defilers and I'm fighting Terran, then there's really not much I can do besides hope that my Ultralisks will kill off all of the tanks and absorb enough damage on their own. And oftentimes that did not happen, as you saw if you saw that stupid map where we were supposed to suicide on a bunch of battle cruisers or something, and I think we didn't have access to Mutas or Scourge. Not that Mutas or Scourge would have been super useful, but the Scourge would have been helpful at least to kill the objectives. So there's things like that that really piss me off, because it's like you don't understand StarCraft so much. You understand so little about the game that you actually create a much more toxic experience than even you meant to create, if that was indeed your intention. Because like it's disproportionately toxic when you have so many things in the favor of the other players, the players that are not Zerg. It's so much more like you have to actually pay more attention to Zerg. They're kind of special snowflakes. You kind of have to really hold their hand a little bit and make sure that everything is good for them. That's why map balance in melee games are so important. Like the game was balanced through melee maps for a very long time. You really need to understand what you're doing. You need to get into that. You need to start watching pro games. You need to start digging into whatever you can find as far as that sort of thing is concerned. You need to start considering, how does Zerg play? What do they have to manage? Is actually quite a bit more important and quite a bit more complex than some of the other races are on the surface. Yes, there's plenty of complexity for Terran and Protoss, particularly with the micro that they end up using, but Zerg has like that really weird combination where they have to micro a lot of shit in the mid game. They have to drone drill a lot, and you know, more so than the other races, just because of the nature of their race and how like more open to harassment they are. They have a lot of potential for damage in the early game with like fast mutas and stuff, but they need to micro their hearts out for that. They also need to have less workers and thus less of an economic standpoint than all of the other races, because their workers are used for buildings, their larvae are used for workers, military units, buildings in turn, because drones are used for buildings, and also for supply for overlords. So their larvae are an incredibly precious resource. They have to know exactly what to do with it exactly the right time. It's a lot of like a very minimalized margin of error compared to some of the other races at various points in the melee game. If you don't understand the melee game, you're not going to be able to produce maps that provide melee gameplay. And if you're not intending to provide melee gameplay at a high quality level where the enemy is playing behind similar or identical rules as the player is, and it's like a team game maybe or something to make it meaningfully distinct from 1v1 gameplay, or it uses some custom units or whatever, like everything stems from an understanding of what made StarCraft a fun game to play and a skill testing game to play, a game where there was a lot of mastery available. If you don't understand that, then you really need to start looking into it, because I'm not saying that if you don't understand that, you should never make StarCraft content, because I didn't understand the game, and I'm not even saying I have a complete understanding of the game even now after years of research, literal years of man hours spent watching games, playing games, trying to understand build orders and stuff. And yeah, it might be reinvigorated now even further because I've been making melee maps lately, but it's not new really. My understanding of the melee game stems back many, many years, and I'm still learning about it to this day because it's that deep and there's that much shit to go look at. So in closing, for this little subsection of the video, really pay attention to melee. Decide if you want to make something that's like melee, and if you don't want to make something that's like melee, where players are jockeying for position, trying to dominate their enemies, you know, trying to punch them out with some knockout punches in the early game, and trying to plan for the little bits of sort of conditionals that might happen, the contingency plans to get them going in case their first attack doesn't work or they're subverted by an early attack from the enemy or something like that. If you're not interested in designing something that opens up from an early game romp into a mid game skirmish into a late game fucking disaster, like utter battlegrounds, blood-soaked battlegrounds, just death everywhere, if that's not what you're after, then I don't really know what you're interested in an RTS at all. And you should do some soul searching and then some soul burning. The Only Magnalot. All right, let's get into this. Needed some water after that one. So, Judicator, our plan worked out perfectly. The Zerg defenses are broken, and we can make a beeline towards their commander. The time is now. Indeed, this is the final hour. May survive the coming conflict, but we shall destroy an enemy who is as merciless as death itself. The Zerg have come to destroy us and all that we hold dear, and claim our knowledge as their own. But I know this: we cannot fail, and ultimately we will be triumphant. Executor, since the human diffuser cannot reach this region with its powers, we shall have to rely on our old tactic with new execution. You must hold off the Zerg until I can accumulate enough energy to warp the Dark Templar to the Cerebrate. Then the victory shall finally be ours. And look at the mission objectives for this mission. I just sat down a fucking quote-unquote defense mission where I had to reach my objective and then defend it, which is way more interesting than just basic defense, but was gimmicked by all the fucking sunken colony bullshit that was invincible for no reason. And now I've got to sit here and do nothing for 50 minutes. Man, what a joke. It's like you make a defense mission because you can't make an engaging mission that's more basic, as far as I'm concerned.
Make use of me.
I'm gonna see if I can even get down from these pod-forsaken wasteland areas. I've got a lot of dragoons and no zealots. So I'll get some zealots. Why does he need 50 minutes to warp in some elite Dark Templar? Unfortunately, I did not scout any bases along the way there. I also don't even know where I sent my probe. He's spun around for a little while. Do I even have a gas here? Oh, okay. So I am meant to expand then. I'm just not sure exactly where. So we have some red Terrans, some orange Terrans, some brown Terrans, some white Terrans, and a Cerebrit, and a Rhino Dad. Whence cometh the enemy? Where the fuck is their base? I guess they're just spawned in or something. Not really sure what to make of that one. Just leave some men up here. Oh yeah, I can bring my man over here. So unless I'm just not seeing my assimilator, yeah, I'm banking on the idea that we're supposed to expand somewhere. I just don't know where that would be. I'll go ahead and scout over here. One of the other things I was thinking about with related to that whole defense talk, right, is that it's actually something that it defies the expectation of the player to actually have something that would be engaging, because the whole idea of a defense map is that you're probably not expanding outward, you're probably not doing what I'm doing now, and it seems very much intentional here, but there's also no fucking gas and a billion inaccessible mineral fields, so I'll take it in case I need to spam out zealots or whatever, but it seems like that is my only recourse at this point. I don't know if there's... This does not seem intentional, but... I mean, it does seem intentional, but it doesn't seem reasonable. Like, I fully expect that this is a bug, even though... What kind of fucking bug would remove my...
Upgrade complete.
assimilator from the game? You know what I mean? But look at all the pre-play shit. Like, I had a lot of pre-play shit, but these guys have legions of pre-play shit. Are we to expect that this is some sort of, like, Archimond ripoff? The lore is... and dialogue is pretty bad, too. Some of it might be a translation failure, but... really, what can you do? So we're gonna go ahead and get leg enhancements and then more zealots. And then prepare for the fucking worst, where I have to build 10 billion gateways. Nice, nice base layout there, man. Yeah, I don't even remember where I was going with the initial comment about defense missions, but there really is no precedent set by any idea of a defense map. Like, I don't know how to put it any clearer, but when you have a defense mission, the assumption is that you're actually going to be sitting in your base doing nothing, building a bunch of static defense. It's like city builder. It's kind of like a city builder in that sense, where suddenly map design doesn't matter as much because the player isn't expected to do anything. Suddenly, even the game state doesn't matter as much because even if there's some horrible imbalances, the player probably won't experience all of them or any of them, potentially. Oh, I found a geyser. Well, DK's really laughing now, huh? What is it, top and left? So I can't harvest that in a more efficient way, unfortunately, but I'll put a nexus right there because it seems to be the most defensible position. Continue scouting around. Witnessing some wraiths spinning. So there's nothing that you can really expect the player to do besides, like, if they're a player like me, I don't fancy myself like really good at the game or anything, but I want to be able to express my skill, what little I have. I want to be able to look at whatever I'm playing and actually engage with it. Not whatever the fuck I'm doing here, where I'm, again, seemingly doing nothing. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell anyway. I'll kill some Rhino Dads. But there's nothing for me to do in a map that, you know, there's just some shit happening where the Zerg are using either triggered attacks or psychotically strong scripted attacks to pick off enemies that seem to be here for no reason other than to die. And we're back. Okay. Just a brief interruption, nothing to worry about. So, do we have an assimilator yet? Not yet. We almost do. Oh yeah. Since I restarted that, that was showing that entire time. I'm so used to it existing, so I never even look for it. My bad. Doesn't appear to be a ramp anywhere. Oh, there is one over here. Maybe there's like a secret hidden base I can build or something. Just trying to figure out what I can do, man. Since there's so little of anything possible. So we're just gonna do what we did last time, where we do like a weird offset wall. In this case, I guess we'll do this instead. Hey, you fuck. And then back here, we'll do this. This. How embarrassing. Who knew photon cannons had such a collision radius? Guess I found my next balance change in Hydra, huh? Alright. Should be safe enough. More of these. And yes, I always click probe. Why the fuck would I press P ever in my life playing an RTS game? So, yeah, I have no idea what to do now. I think we've taken all available bases. Hey, they're attacking. They're not just here alone on the map. I mean, I feel like I'm alone on the map, but it doesn't look like that's the case here. Very impressive stuff. Oh, maybe there's something down here. I doubt it, but... The other question is whether or not they even expanded down there. Might be worth it to start taking a base over there. So, now Red's dying. I really wonder if this guy really... Whoa! Dude, that was a moonwalk right there, man. I wonder if this guy really just enjoyed Warcraft 3 too much, you know? And it's weird to see shield batteries take up that much space. Don't worry, don't mind me, guys. I'm just making sure I have enough supply for the future, you know? Planning ahead. Oh, shit. I didn't plan ahead over here. There you go. Fixed it. Alright, I think we're good. Alright. So yeah, I don't actually know what I'm meant to do here. But now that I have some gas, we'll build some more forges. I should have built more forges immediately. Upon it becoming obvious that I could get gas. Okay, we'll do this. Oh, once we get our Templar Archives, we'll just get weapons instead of that, so that's fine. It's weird that pylons have such a small collision radius, but not you know what I can do? Just had a brilliant idea. Actually, if I end up grabbing like a whole bunch of Corsairs, we'll be good to go. But yeah, pylons being so small, but photon cannons being so large in terms of collision, I wonder if there really is a legitimate balance reason for that, you know? It looks like they were not interested in expanding.
Make use of me.
Yeah, so we got nothing. Pretty unfortunate. Nothing we can do about that. Where's the probe here? Just send him up here for now. I guess we'll also need some Psystorm, potentially. We're off of one gas this entire map, so we're going to be sitting here for a while. But I was thinking Corsairs for mutas. It looks like they also have Guardians, so I don't really know what to make of that, but it's okay. Corsair is O, by the way. Not R, because it has 2 R's in its name, and that's way more convenient of a key to reach. R is rally. Instead of, you know, right-click. Gotta save some APM, you know. Gotta cut those corners where you can at Blizzard Entertainment. Got a virtue signal where you can. You know how it is. You guys know how the game is played. You know how they pull that magic trick on you.
I stand ready.
So we will start a lovely control group of that. So even in this defense mission, the gimmick of all gimmicks, we are still disbarred any capacity to play the game in a reasonable manner. We still are not allowed to do anything. Very unfortunate. I guess. Let's see what happens when we go and attack there. Just out of curiosity. So I got a lot of disposable zealots, disposable mineral income here. I'm not even sure if it's worth it getting Templar. It's so gas intensive. Oh yeah, you know, my favorite way to attack the bottom left-hand corner. Fucking charging off into nothing.
It is a good day to die.
So we do have an upgrade complete. Grab that. We got okay upgrades. I don't actually know what their upgrades are looking like right now. They are 3-3 on air, which is pretty scary. And we'll mass up out here for a while. We have no observers. We have no no fucking chance in hell of getting any either, unless we take one of these forward bases. That's expected. Right. Give it a good shot here anyway. We obviously are not meant to actually attack this base. Yeah, all that just to die in the hands of all of this. I wonder if they started out with 3-3 or if they got it really fast. I'm willing to bet it was also all spawned in. Pre-placed upgrades. How embarrassing. Well, I guess we'll be waiting for quite a bit more here. I thought I actually did the rally, but I guess not. How embarrassing. Guess I should have used that R key, huh? Oops. So, yeah, Corsairs might actually be useful in that battle. They would take quite a while before they hit the, they end up killing any fully upgraded Guardians, though, so I'm gonna guess on a no on that one. Just macro cycle it up. I suppose we could have actually waylaid the attacking forces there instead. But you know, hindsight is current year. Meanwhile, Orange is having a vibrant community of 5 Wraiths and or 5 Marines and a Wraith, none of which are upgraded whatsoever. Because, you know, this map was made with the player in mind. And mass up some more. And get more Dragoons, because we definitely need them. Pretty much can only get Dragoons from one of the sets of gateways. I don't really trust the pathfinding of the Dragoons in this particular area. Hopefully they send more than that. Oh, they're sending an Achmed. Alright, all is well with the world then. I can't believe this base is still not dead. It's clearly shut down a long time ago, considering it has a Goliath sitting here doing fucking nothing, because I guess Zeus doesn't know what defense use. GG. Oh, okay. Go attack with those. Alright, off you guys go. Your lives for shitty map design. Wow, I actually managed to exceed the side limit in this defense mission. That's not exactly what I wanted. I didn't even see this attack force leave. Now keep in mind, of course, I'm a man who's literally parked an entire army outside the fucking clown emoji bases. Yeah, nice damage. No wonder these Devourers are staying alive for so long. Almost done with that, so I can get an observatory. Oh yeah. It took so long to build my robotics facility that I decided to actually get my units over there. How are we doing on upgrades? Fucking slackers. Oh yeah. I thought for sure I would have lost more units, but it looks like I actually just executed this clown. Didn't even need the observers after all. Yeah, I actually killed him. What the fuck? And again, like, this should not be a revelation. This should not be something that is so impossible to do, or so arduous to do, or so annoying to do, that it becomes, like, haha-worthy when you actually do it. I'm gonna go right out on a limb and say that some of those attacks that we just witnessed were just fucking spawned in, but I'd be happy to be proven wrong. There's no more attacks on the map after we do this. But now we have to sit here and wait for 50 fucking minutes. Well, I mean, we don't, because I have the AI debug plugin. But come the fuck on, man. This should just be something that's like the matter of the fact of life. You attack, playing an RTS, you attack these clowns. They die, you know? Fucking sea nerd. I was under upgraded for that fight, I think. I think I just now got armor through tier 3. Or whatever. Yeah, they had nothing. I think this is supposed to be a World Tree fight or something.
May I be of service?
Well.
Upgrade complete.
Man, how embarrassing. Yeah, actually, it doesn't look like they were spawned in.
Upgrade complete.
See a Magnalot. Hey, you guys aren't using that, right?
Upgrade complete.
Wow, that was funny. Starcraft, but I play at 80,000 speed. Oh man, if only there was actual gameplay here. Fuck you, Rhino Dad. Rhino DF. Rhino Dad Fantasies. 3, 2, 1. He intended for this to be epic, but I'm going to kill it with zealots. What a map. Man, that's another map that doesn't even deserve to be editor reviewed. Holy moly. Alright, let's back out of here. I guess I'll pop it open anyway, just because it may amuse me. And thus ends our playthrough of the Protoss campaign of this Zerg campaign. This is a very barren map, a very bare bones map, visually speaking. And a lot of the pathways seemed really superfluous. Like, again, we run into issues that we were talking about in the very first Protoss map, and also in the very first map of the entire campaign, in the first Zerg mission. We run into issues like this. We've got this ramp. You go all the way over here. You can even squeeze some units through there, like zealots or whatever. And there's nothing on the other side. It's a complete waste of time to go up here. Maybe if you had Hydras, or you wanted to mount an air attack from this area, as the Zerg, you could do that. But no. Maybe, you know, of course, if you had tanks and the enemy had built a bunch of shit over here, then yeah. But otherwise, no. There's really no reason to be up here in its current form. And I feel like that's, you know, that's a problem that a lot of developers end up, it's a trait a lot of developers have, right? Is that they don't consider the reason for doing anything. They don't consider why they are doing something. For example, why are you putting this dirt cliff here? What is the justification for it? It may sound really hair-splitting or really particular to the point where you're bordering on mental illness for focusing so heavily on it, but at the top of your craft, this is what you're doing all the time. Every single thing that you do, every decision you make, be it big or small, long or short, is something that you are making to consider, like, why exactly am I doing this? You know, you're considering and critically analyzing not only your motives, not only your intent, but how well you think you're capturing that intent and executing on the ideas you have. Now, if you don't have ideas, you need to experiment. Just like if you don't have the technical skill required to do something, you need to practice until you have that technical skill. But it can't happen without you critically analyzing what you're doing and deciding if it really serves a purpose. I know I'm harping on a literal pile of dirt in a map, but it's really fucking important, and I feel like this is a simple enough thing to underscore the idea. In Consummate, my own first released campaign, I used really shitty reverse ramps that in many cases had readability issues where people didn't even know they were ramps. And I couldn't really understand how they couldn't know, because it was ingrained to me that anything different than the default cliff would be something to look at, and then you would realize it's a ramp. But I could understand their misgivings. That being said, even though they were really, really poorly executed as far as ramps go, like the idea was to put a ramp there, and my execution of that idea was not great, because I just used some stupid tiles that somebody at Start.net had compiled into a map, instead of making some custom tiles myself or asking somebody to make them for me if I could not make them myself. And while they looked really bad artistically, and while they looked, you know, functioned really poorly visually, they still functioned as ramps, and they still allowed you to have north-facing ramps in the game. In a game where Blizzard did not ship north-facing ramps, this is not a difficult thing to do. You're literally copy-pasting from a terrain compilation that is actually available on my Mega Drive, funnily enough, but also is available at Starcraft.net, like I said. It's other basic shit, like constantly having inaccessible mineral fields, although of course I selected the one base that didn't. But like over here, for example, constantly having inaccessible mineral fields, constantly having areas that don't really lead anywhere, that are just dead ends, that don't justify themselves. It's a combination of obvious technical flaws with the mineral fields and such, and of course, that combined with the fact that you have all of these areas of the map on a terrain level that don't justify their inclusion, that don't create engaging battlefields where multiple decisions can be made to properly assemble your forces and move against the enemy in a way that makes a meaningful impact, in a way that executes an idea that you as a player have. None of the stuff that Zeus's maps have here facilitates real player decision making. Now again, he doesn't completely obfuscate it. There's a decent number of pathways throughout the maps, and that has been a criticism I've levied at lots of maps that I've played, is that they don't have enough pathways and that the pathways don't matter. Zeus's pathways rarely do matter, but at least there's a large number of them, so you can find the ones that do matter and then try to, you know, design your attacks around them. But this wasn't a map where we were meant to attack. This was a map we were meant to sit in our base and suck our thumbs. I mean, this base isn't even really that imposing, but I guess it's supposed to be Archimond from Warcraft 3, and he's supposed to pick off and then take control of all of these areas, except he didn't do that. Now again, Zeus may just assume that, oh yeah, actually the reason for it is I didn't send you the broodwarscripts.bin, so XD. And yeah, XD, buddy, I agree, but there's something to be said for actually designing a level where even if you had competent AI, they could express that competence by destroying the player or destroying the player's allies. And this was not one of those maps. AI has 1 billion resources locked away behind trees and shit, and 1 gas. Oh, 2 gas. And no natural. Just like the player has no fucking natural. They've got a mineral only and a gas only. I mean, come on, man. Don't be DK. You can't be DK, man. You can't put a random geyser. That's not allowed. Even DK knows that. What a mess. And again, the color choice. This is a map crap map. The fucking color choice of having the Holobrood be the same color as the Rhinodons. I mean, it's not like I was ever under any threat of losing the game, but still. Have some respect for the player's eyeballs. And I suppose I will leave you viewers with that, knowing that we have another 1 or 2 videos left in us because we have to complete the Terran campaign. But we will soldier on like good little boys and girls, sucking our thumbs, waiting for the developer to tell us what we can and cannot do. I wonder if we'll even have siege tanks available in the first mission of the Terran campaign. It's not looking good.